Hello, thank you for joining me. So, in our practice today, we're going to focus on back bend. It's highly encouraged that you have two blocks and a blanket, and we will go ahead and get started. So, the first thing that we'll start with is your blocks. So, bring both of your blocks on the second setting, and you'll want to make sure that they're about shoulder distance apart. And then you'll walk your knees back and walk your elbows down onto each block. Once your elbows are onto the blocks, press your palms into each other and maybe walk your knees back a bit more. Pause here, press your hands into each other, lift up through your inner armpits, and then start to push your elbows forward as you slide your hips back, pull your front ribs in and back, and take a moment to pause and to breathe. And we're focusing here on finding length along our side body, so it's between your ribs and your hips. You might notice that you might then have the capacity to shift your knees back a little bit more and allow the armpits to still lift as you press into the palms and you feel a nice stretch across your triceps. You might stay there or start to walk your thumbs towards the back of your head. And you've got two more breath cycles here. Front ribs pull in and back. Inner armpits lift, outer hips lift back, and elbows push down and forward into your blocks. Nice work. Next in breath, shift your weight forward, walk your knees forward, and then once you're underneath yourself, you'll release your hands down towards the mat. Make sure your hands are shoulder distance apart. Push down through the L shape of your hands until the upper back rounds just a bit. Send your right foot back and tuck the toes under, and you'll just pulse a little forward and back here, starting to draw weight into the wrist, starting to open up the backs of the feet. And then gently release that leg down and switch sides. Send your right foot back, tuck the toes under, hug all the muscles around that leg straight, and then pulse a few times forward and back. And for me, it's early in the morning, so you might hear a bunch of cricks and cracks happening in my body as I move. And if that's happening for you, no worries, just notice it. Okay, go back to the first side. Push down through both hands first. Lengthen your tailbone back and scoop your pubic bone to your navel, hugging the front two hip bones together. From there, extend your left leg back, left toes tuck under. Bend your tailbone back to your heel, and then lift from the inside edge of your left thigh. Press back through your left big toe. Keep curling your tailbone back as you hug your pubic bone in. And you might stay here for the next 3 to 5 breaths, or you might tap your right fingers to your left shoulder and hold. So we're just trying to find a little bit of core engagement before we move on. For 3, for 2, and for 1. If that right hand came up, lower it down, lower the left leg down, lower the left knee down, and we'll switch sides. Push down through the hands, scoop the tailbone, hug the pubic bone into the navel, make the spine. Send your right foot back, tuck the toes under, hug all the muscles around the bone. And then as though you're lifting from the inside edge of your right leg, squeeze your right glute, lift up through that right hamstring, pause, lengthen tailbone back, keeping side body long. And you might stay here for the next 3 to 5 breaths, or maybe tap your right shoulder with your left hand. Keep pressing out through your big toe, hugging your low belly in. Last breath cycle here. Very gently release that left hand, release the right foot and right knee. From here, walk your knees back a few inches. Start to claw your hands into the mat and then tuck the toes under if they're not. Keep your knees bent. Start to push your hands down and forward to lift your bum up and back. As we did before, lift up through your inner armpits. Wrap your triceps to the floor. Keep your knees as bent as you need to for this first one. And then you'll start to extend your legs as much as you'd like, lowering the heels towards the floor while lifting through your inner armpits, pushing the shoulders into the hands down into the floor, finding length on your side body once again. 3 breaths. Last one. Nice work. Look to your hands. Exhale, bend the knees, empty the belly, and step or float feet towards your hands. Once you get to your hands, Separate your feet about hip distance apart and just take a moment to fold over. Then inhale, pull your heart forward by pushing your fingers into the floor, the shins, or the blocks beneath you. And then exhale, scoop the belly and fold in. And you've got 3 more just like that. Inhale, arcing the heart forward to come up. And then exhale, scooping the belly to fold the chest in towards the shins. 2 more on your own. Inhale, lengthening shoulders away from your ears, pubic bone back, crown forward. Exhale, pushing into the legs, scooping the navel, melting your chin towards your chest. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bend your knees. Send your knees forward towards the top of your space. Bend your butt back towards the back of your space. And then start to airplane your arms back so your hands are alongside your hips. Your knees are bent at about a 90-degree angle. Turn your palms to face the floor. And then from here, reach back through your pinky fingers and reach forward through your sternum. Stay here if you'd like, or interlace your hands at your low back. From there, reach the hands back, reach the heart forwards, push into your big toes, scoop your navel to your spine, and see if you can lift your chest 1 more inch. Take another breath cycle here. On your next in-breath, release the hands, sweep them down to come forward and alongside your ears for chair pose. Take another breath cycle here, and another breath out. Inhale, push through the feet, reach up through the hands, straighten the legs, look up, stand up. And then exhale, hands through heart center. All right, inhale, hands reach back up through the center, up to the sky. As you exhale, grab your right wrist, bend your knees just a bit, and then scoop your tailbone down, pull your pubic bone up. Inhale, reach up through your right fingertips. As you exhale, little side bend towards the left. Now here, press down into your right big toe. Continue to curl your tailbone down. Straighten your right leg long too. And see if you can breathe into your right upper ribs. Don't hyperextend the knees if you have that tendency. Nice job. Inhale, come back up through center. As you exhale, release the hands through center alongside your hips and just notice what you notice. And then we'll try that on the other side. Inhale, hands come through center, up towards the sky like a flowering tree. Exhale, bend your knees just a bit. Curl the tailbone under, scoop the pubic bone in. Inhale, reach up through your left fingertips, grab your left wrist. And then exhale, little side bend towards the right. From here, you'll start to straighten your left leg, curl your tailbone under, scoop the pubic bone under, and straighten your left leg too, or right leg too. And then just breathe into your upper left ribs. Notice where you can soften along your right shoulder and continue to root down into your left heel. Nice. Inhale up through center. And exhale, fold forward at your hips. Uttanasana, forward fold. Awesome stuff. Inhale, gaze forward, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees. Plant your palms, step back, plank pose for 3 breaths. Push down through the hands, lift up through your inner armpits, lift up through your inner thighs, and then curl your tailbone under. As you inhale, pull your hands isometrically back, pull your sternum forward, and then exhale, bend your knees, shift your butt up and back, downward facing dog for a breath. Now, once you're in this down dog, keep pushing down through the hands, lift up through your inner armpits, and just notice what you notice. Adding on. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back, 3-legged dog. Keep your hips as square as they can be. And then exhale, bend that right knee. Externally rotate the right knee to the right, stack the right hip on top of the left hip, and keep drawing the top of your left shin bone forward. You might peer underneath your right armpit, or you might keep your gaze down towards the floor, but keep lifting up through both armpits evenly. Take 1 more breath cycle here. As you exhale, quietly step that right foot between your hands. Happy days. Low lunge. Take a moment to pause. Make sure your feet are as wide as you need them to be. Push down into your front big toe. Squeeze your back glute. Lift through that back hip, or inner thigh rather. Now inhale, reach your right hand back, reach your left hand back. As you exhale, turn the palms to the floor, reach your collarbones forward. Interlace the hands if you'd like. Now squeeze your legs together to tone your right butt cheek and your left butt cheek. Curl your tailbone down to bring your spine all the way up to vertical, shoulder blades onto the back, sternum presses forward, and then up, and then you're in a high crescent lunge with your arms behind your low back. Take a big breath here. Take a big breath out. Inhale, release your arms down and up and overhead. And as you exhale, grab your left wrist and take a little side bend over to the left. And you're squeezing your left butt cheek and breathing into the front of your left quadricep, your left hip flexor. Keep curling tailbone under to protect, or rather engage and lengthen the low back. Next in-breath, come up through center. As you exhale, frame the front foot. Shift your weight forward slightly and then step back, downward facing dog. 2 breaths, and you're just noticing what you notice. How's the right side feeling different from the left? And then we'll try that once again on the other side. So inhale, sweep your left leg up and back. Pause, keeping your hips super square for a moment. Exhale, bend your left knee and externally rotate the left thigh to the left. Stack the left hip on top of the right, and then draw your outer right hip back, top of right shin bone forward. Lift up through both of your happy armpits, and maybe you peer underneath that left armpit, maybe you don't. But take one more breath here as you breathe along the whole back of your leg, right leg most likely for you. And then exhale, quietly step your left foot between your hands, low lunge. I'm gonna adjust my mic, you stay there. Awesome. Then from here, push down through the hands, maybe hands are on the blocks or the floor. Squeeze your right butt cheek, lift up through that inner right thigh, push down through your left big toe. Now inhale, heart reaches forward as your left hand comes back, and then your right hand comes back. Exhale, palms turn to the mat, and then interlace your hands, awkward opposite interlace. Squeeze your legs together, curl your tailbone down, and start to draw your spine up to vertical. Take a big breath in here. Shoulder blades on back, sternum reaches forward, heart and gaze start to reach forward and then up. Nice job, guys. Check in with that back inner right hamstring. Make sure it's toned. You can just touch it a little bit. And then release your hands. Inhale, sweeping them forward and up. As you exhale, grab your right wrist, reach up and over towards your left. Keep squeezing your right butt cheek as you press into your left big toe. Nice job. Inhale up through center. Exhale, release your hands. Shift the weight forward just a bit to step back, downward facing dog. Nice work. Then we're gonna add on. Inhale, shift forward to plank pose, Asana. Press down through the hands. As you exhale, shift your weight forward, glide the heart forward, lengthen the tailbone back, lower through Chaturanga Dandasana. Nice work. Now, once you find yourself all the way on your belly, you're gonna walk your hands off your mat, fingers in line with your shoulders, and we're coming into cousin thing pose from the Addams family. Now, once you find yourself here, go ahead and press down to the tops of the feet. Hug your inner shin bones towards each other, outer shin bones towards each other. Lengthen your tailbone back towards your feet, and then keep looking at your belly button this whole time. Now with the legs active, the glutes slightly active, you'll inhale, curl your heart forward while looking towards your navel. Once your chest is as high as it wants to come up, you'll draw the shoulders up toward the ears and the shoulder blades onto the back. Reach out through the tailbone and the toes, scoop the pubic bone, pull the hands back isometrically to draw the shoulder blades down the back. Nice job. Exhale, slowly lower down. Awesome sauce. From here, go ahead and tuck your toes under. And yogi's choice, you'll either come up through hands and knees, or you'll come up through plank pose, and then shift your weight back, downward facing dog. Take 2 breath cycles here. Pressing into the hands, lifting through the inner armpits, and seeing if you can splay your inner thighs back, and at the same time, hug your outer glutes in to find balanced action. Nice work. Adding on, inhale, gaze to the top of your space. As you exhale, step your right foot confidently between your hands. Nice work. Left foot goes over to the left slightly. Turn the foot down for a warrior 2. And at this point, you might bring a block underneath your right hand, or you might not. It's totally up to you. But you're going to push down into the pinky toe edge of your back foot, push into the center of your front foot, especially that big toe mound like you're squishing a grape, and send your right knee forward. Now, before we go anywhere, send your inner left thigh back. So you've got that internal rotation. You can feel your adductors going on. Now scoop your right butt cheek under. Draw your left hand to your left hip. Think of pulling your left foot to your right foot to your left foot. Push that right arm into the left knee into the right arm. Pull your heart forward and then start to gaze up towards the left and up towards the sky. From here, reach back through your left fingertips, sweep them forward and overhead. And you've got 2 more breath cycles here in extended side angle. Utthita Parsva Konasana. Nice job. Next in breath, turn your gaze to the floor. Rotate your pelvis to be square to the floor. Tuck the back toes under, shift your butt back, cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. And we're in a weird down dog figure 4. Keep flexing through your right, that outer right hip. Nice job. 1 more breath cycle here. Inhale, gaze to your hands. As you exhale, step that right foot forward again. Lower the back knee to the floor, patting it if you'd like. From here, push down through both feet. Bring the spine all the way up to vertical. Hug your foot and knee towards each other. Curl your tailbone down and inhale, sweep your left arm up and overhead. Now, if you'd like, you can just do this with one arm and you'll just push your right hand into your right thigh as you side bend over towards the right. Still lengthening tailbone down, pulling pubic bone up, trying to breathe alongside your left side body. Or you use your right hand to pull your left hand out to the right and then down. Nice work. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, release the hands to the floor, tuck the back toes under, shift your weight forward and step back. Downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Notice what you notice. How do the sides feel? Inhale, gaze to your hands. Exhale, confidently step your left foot between your hands. Hooray. Step the right foot slightly to the right. Spin the foot down so the toes are pointed to the upper right corner of the mat. Same option as before, hand under block or not. But you're going to send your right butt cheek back to the left like you're twerking. Notice that inner rotation. Push down into the pinky toe edge of your back foot. And then keep that, but scoop, oh, buddy man, your left hip underneath. From there, you can push down into both feet and suck them in. You can push your left arm into your left knee and then reach back through your right hand and sweep your right arm alongside your ears, peering to the right, peeling the chest to the right, looking underneath your happy, hopefully non-smelly armpit, and breathe. Nice job. Inhale, gaze towards the floor. As you exhale, square your hips to the floor, shift your weight forward, step back, cross left ankle over the top of your right thigh. Now keep your right knee pretty bent. So we're not going for hyperextension. We're keeping that knee bent so we can target our outer left hip. Keep curling your left toes towards your left knee and you're breathing into that hip as you lift your tuchus high and spread wide through your sit bones like the peacock. Nice job. Inhale, gaze to your hands. Step that left foot between your hands, lower the right knee down, then push into the foot, into the knee, curl the spine up to vertical. Awesome sauce. And then you're going to keep that lengthening your tailbone down. And then option to inhale, sweep just your right arm up and overhead. Push that left hand into the left thigh into the left hand as you arc towards the left. Option to stay right there. Tailbone curls down a lot. Otherwise, you can add a little bit of resistance by reaching out through your right fingers and pulling your right fingers to the left and then down. Keep pulling your right knee forward, left heel back. Whew, I hope you're breathing. Next in breath, come up through center. As you exhale, shift your hands to the floor, shift your weight forward, step back, downward facing dog. Happy days. Awesome sauce. Next in breath, come forward. And then once you're in plank, you'll lower your knees towards the mat and pause. From here, slide your right knee towards your right hand. turn your right toes towards your left knee. Then you'll start to crawl your left knee back. Now, great time to use your blocks. You don't have to, but awesome thing to use your blocks. And so your blocks will come underneath your hand. What you're gonna do now is push into that top of your right shin. So that whole top front of your right foot stays active. Tuck your back toes under and you're gonna straighten that back leg long, looking back at your heel, making sure heel is pointing straight up. And then notice what's happening along that inner edge of your medial hamstring. You might feel that all the way up into your pelvic floor, maybe all the way up into your psoas, depending. But you're gonna just pause there for a moment and breathe. Some of you, well, you may choose to stay right here for today, or you might start to walk your hands over to the left. You'll bend your left knee. Left palm will come inside of your left foot, and then you'll start to curl your heel towards your butt. And we're gonna do Barbie point toes today. So your toes are pulling back as you pull in, and then you're gonna see if you can squeeze down by pushing into the top of your left knee. So that's the closest part to your shin. And then push into the front of your right shin and see if you can pull those points together, lengthening your tailbone down, scooping your pubic bone up, and ideally rotating your left rib cage to the top of your space. Awesome sauce. Very gently, you'll release that. Left foot will come to the floor, left hand will come to the floor, tuck left toes under, shift weight forward, step back, happy days. Downward facing dog. And then come forward again, plank. Lower your knees down. Step your left knee towards your left hand. Turn your left toes over to your right knee. Start to crawl or walk your right foot back. Keep those right toes tucked under. Push down into the right knee. Push down into the left shin. See if you can suck those points together so you can say, look, Ma, no hands. And then with your tailbone still curling under, maybe walk that right foot back a little bit more. Maybe peer back, make sure your right heel is perpendicular to the floor. An option to stay here today or go to the same variation that you took on the other side. So we'll start to walk our hands towards the right. The right hand will come to the inside edge of your right foot. Curl your hand across the front of your foot. Your toes curl back towards your hand. Now push into your right knee. Push into your left shin. Hug those points together. Curl your tailbone down as you draw your right heel to your right butt cheek. Are you breathing? Right ribs forward, tailbone under. Happy breath. Nice job. Very mindfully release that right leg. Bring the right foot to the floor, bring the right hand to the left hand, shift the weight forward, tuck the toes under, shift your weight back. Happy downward facing dog. Armpit to lift. 3 breaths. Nice work. Inhale, come forward into plank. As you exhale, shift your weight forward, lower slower than you want to through Chaturanga Dandasana. Heart reaches forward, head stays lifted. Yay! When you find yourself on your belly, go ahead and wiggle yourself into such a state where you can reach your arms forward and your legs back like you're, I don't know, trapeze person, Superman or something. But you're going to start by separating your feet hip distance apart. Push down to the tops of the feet to lift your pelvis. Curl your tailbone under, and then bring your pelvis back to the floor. Keep pressing into the tops of the feet, and then you'll inhale, reach so far forward through, or rather back through your right foot, that your right foot reaches up and away from the floor. Keep lengthening your tailbone back to your right foot, and reach so far forward through your left fingers that they reach up and away from the floor. And then exhale, lower down. We'll try that on the other side. So inhale, reach back through the left foot. Inhale, reach back through your left toes. Reach forward through your right fingers. Curl your tailbone back. Lift your limbs as high as you want. And exhale, lower down. And then this time we'll add both arms and legs. Inhale, reach back through toes. Reach forward through arms. So lift as high as you want. Exhale, tailbone curls under. Keep reaching back. Awesome sauce. Keep your head, keep your legs. Exhale, bend the elbows, cactusing them alongside your ears, palms face down. And from there, reach your hands back behind you again, palms face down. Option to stay here, lifting up through your inner thighs by reaching back through your big toes. Or option to interlace your hands at your low back, shoulders up towards your ears, heart comes forward, tailbone reaches back, pubic bone scoops in. Awesome sauce. Last one. And then exhale, heel gently release and lower down. Hello, back bend. Hello, back bends. Maybe shimmy your bum around a little bit. Maybe not. Okay, 2 more things. So bring your forehead back towards the mat. Bring your hands alongside your lowest ribs. Great. Press into the tops of the feet. Hug your outer shin bones in. Curl your tailbone back. Now, as you inhale, draw the shoulders up to the ears and draw the shoulder blades together on your back. As you exhale, start to curl the tailbone back. Keep looking at your belly button. And then inhale, start to pull heart forward. Tailbone lengthens back. Inner thighs lift. Shoulders will come up a little bit. Then draw the shoulder blades onto the back. Reach the heart and sternum forward. Pull your hands back. Pull your sternum forward. Lengthen your tailbone back. Awesome sauce. And gently lower down. Tuck your toes under, and here's our favorite part. Draw your navel to the spine. Draw your shoulders up to your ears and shoulder blades onto your back. Inhale, come through chaturanga, through plank. And then exhale, hips high, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Notice what you notice. Nice work. Inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, slowly lower down. And then you'll make your way over onto your back. Okay. Don't you love the sound effects? It's early morning. I don't know what we expect, but it's early. So you're gonna come onto your backs and make sure that your feet are about hip distance apart. And then once you're there, you might notice that depending upon how it feels to you, you might walk your heels out 1 millimeter, but we'll find out how that goes. Then bend your elbows so they're at about a 90-degree angle. Now draw your shoulders up to your ears and then walk the shoulders just towards each other on the back, not so they depress, but just so they come towards your spine. Now, inhale, push down through your elbows, your forearms, or your upper arms rather, push down through your feet, lift your hips high. Once your hips are high, think of curling your tailbone towards your knees. And then from that pelvis area, reach back through the palate of your mouth. Press the palate of the mouth straight down into the floor, and then see if you can push into the big toe mound so the hips a little higher. Nice job. Keep curling tailbone forward. Keep reaching back through the palate of the mouth straight down, and lift the hips a little higher. Awesome sauce. When you're ready, you'll gently lower the pelvis back down to the floor. Walk the feet outside of the hips, let the knees knock in, and let the arms rest on the body wherever works for them. Okay. We'll try that once again. So bring your feet back so they're hip distance apart, elbows back into that cactus type shape. Now, draw the shoulders up to the ears, draw the shoulder blades onto your back. Inhale, push down through the elbows, push down through the feet, lift your happy hips high. Maybe widen the heels just a smidge. Curl your tailbone towards your knees. Then draw energy from your pelvis to the palate of your mouth, back into the head, and then maybe you'll walk the shoulders underneath you a little bit more. You might choose to stay here for today, or you might then start to push through the feet enough to lift the hips a little higher. You might then press to the balls of the feet and then slide one hand and then the other underneath your sacrum. If that's working for you, by all means, hang out there. Otherwise, you can place one or both of your blocks underneath your sacrum. From there, push down through your left foot, curl your right foot towards the chest, and then reach it up towards the sky. You might stay there. You might draw that right leg back and switch sides so the left leg comes up, or you might draw the left knee in to meet the right and the left foot up to meet the right foot. And we're in a modified shoulder stand. So modified being my weight of my pelvis is not over my shoulders, it's back over my hands. A lot of work in the wrist, and so you just notice what you notice at this point in time. And then you keep reaching up through the inner edges of your feet. Your big toes, those hamstrings that we worked on earlier, are really active here. And then when you're ready to come down, if you took both legs up, you'll start by lowering the right foot to the floor, reaching up through the left, and then start to curl the left knee into the chest, and then lower the left foot to the floor. Once you're back on the balls of your feet, you'll push through the feet enough to lift the hips away from the hands and release the hands back to your robot arms. Lower the pelvis back down to the floor. Once the pelvis comes to the floor, untuck the shoulders, widen the knees, let the knees knock in, and let the arms rest onto the body. Now we'll take 3 to 5 breaths here. Great. And then from here, you'll walk your feet so they're hip distance apart. Draw your right knee into your chest, interlace your hands behind the back of the right thigh. Kick your thigh into your hands, flex through your right foot, and then start to slide your left leg along the floor. Curl both sets of toes back towards their corresponding knees. Root down through that right thigh and see if you can internally rotate your legs just a little bit. It feels like my butt splays or my sacrum widens. You might stay there with your right knee bent or start to extend your right foot up towards the sky. And you'll just pause and you'll breathe. And then gently bend the right knee. Draw the knee in towards the chest, little compression. Then release the right foot to the floor. Draw the left foot in to meet its mate. Draw the left knee into your chest. Interlace your hands behind the back of the left thigh. Curl your left toes towards your left knee and then start to slide your right leg forward along the floor. And again, you're pulling both sets of toes in alignment with the knee. Start to kick your left thigh forward so the left thigh is perpendicular to the floor. Internally rotate both thighs so it feels like your sacrum widens, and you might stay there with that left knee bent or extend your left foot to the floor, to your ceiling, and you'll pause and you'll breathe. And we're just trying to root that left thigh forward, not necessarily going for as much mobility as you have the potential to do this, just unwinds the back after some back bends. And then gently you'll bend that left knee in, drawing the knee into the chest for a little compression. Release the left foot to the floor, knee points up. Draw the right knee in to meet its mate. And then walk your feet outside of your hips a little bit. Allow both legs to cascade over towards the right. Flex through both feet so the toes pull up towards the knee. Perhaps you cross that right ankle over the top of the left thigh. Maybe you draw the whole right shin along the top of the left shin. And then you'll reach up through your left arm. Curl your tailbone under towards your right knee. Lightly push up with the left thigh as you pull down with the right ankle, and you'll breathe. And then gently release that right foot back. Draw the knees back through center. Draw the left elbow back in alignment with the right. And then let the legs cascade over to the left, Flex through your feet. Cross the left ankle over the top of the right thigh. Maybe on the side you stay here. Maybe you slide that shin down towards the right shin. Curl your tailbone under and down towards your right knee as you reach up for your right arm, and you're just breathing along your right side body. And very gently, you'll come out of that, sliding the left ankle back to the floor, drawing both knees back up to vertical, drawing that right elbow back. Now, once you find your feet hip distance apart, you'll draw the soles of the feet together and let your knees open and splay like a book. Highly encourage the use of those blocks to support the outer edges of your knees, and then maybe you bring a blanket across the top of your pelvis. You then have the option of putting the arms wherever works for you. So maybe you wrap them around your body. Maybe you cactus them out to the right and to the left. Maybe you just let them open out alongside your hips. But you'll take the first few moments here to really settle into the shape, letting the feet Really root into the mat, letting the knees really rest into the support of the blocks if you're using them. The pelvis roots into the floor, finding that natural curve of the low back, and then the press of the thoracic spine, press of the back of the skull. Notice now if you can soften the eyes a little bit more into the sockets as you soften the mouth and soften the jaw and the tongue. And then from here, we'll spend a few breath cycles just doing a little Kriya. So you'll notice that as you breathe in, the energy can travel up from the soles of the feet to the crown of the head. And then as you breathe out, it can travel from the crown of the head back down to the soles of the feet. You'll do that one or two more times on your own, breathing energy from the soles of the feet to the crown of the head, and then sending energy back down. Gently release the Kriya. And just take 3 to 5 natural breaths on your own. As you take these breaths, take a moment to check in. Notice if there's any part of you that really longs to linger here for a few more moments or a few more breath cycles. And if that's the case, by all means, please stay here. When you are ready to move forward with your day, you'll begin to mindfully invite movement back into your hands. From there, you'll bring the hands to the outer edges of your thighs and gently close your knees together like a book. Extend your legs long. Extend your arms long alongside your ears and stretch, wiggle, yawn in any way that feels nurturing and good to you. Once you've got your wiggles out, allow the body to settle for a moment, just in stillness. Noticing the internal vibrations that just happen as part of our existence. Begin to make your way to one of your sides, coming to a soft semi-fetal position. Use your underneath arm as a support for your head and neck. And again, just take a moment to pause. Roll your chest more towards the floor. Press into the top hand. Use the bottom hand to press into the floor as you walk your spine up to vertical. When the spine is vertical, take a moment to elevate your bum on a block or a blanket. And then you'll just sit tall, drawing the hands to heart center. Press the palms into each other and receive the weight of your thumbs into your sternum. Lift your sternum towards your thumbs. With these last few moments here, allow yourself to just take in the gift that was your practice, whatever shape or form it looked like. Finding the gratitude for the time, space, the energy, the motivation. The light within me honors and salutes the light within you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I look forward to being with you soon. Thanks.